Good evening. It's an honor to be here, and by way of background, I'm Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Wendy Rogers. I went to pilot training here in Arizona. I was blessed to be one of the first women pilots in the Air Force. I served 20 years active duty from 1976 to 1996. I'm a fifth generation military officer. I'm the wife of my husband who served 20 years with me as an engineer in the Air Force. I'm the mother of our son George, who is a former Marine officer, and my antecedents go all the way back to the Civil War. So service is in my DNA, and that's what I did for 20 years. And then we decided to settle here in Arizona, and we opened a business. We started a business. I'm a job creator. We started a home inspection business, Housemaster Home Inspections. I have 12 employees, and we own an office building on Whirl Road that we manage ourselves. So every day, I have to make it work. I don't get a bailout. I don't get a stimulus. I can't print money. I have 8 tenants, 12 employees. I'm a small business owner. I'm the only one in the race who opened a business here in this district, and I'm very proud of that. I actually live in the district. We raised our kids here. Let's talk about education for a minute. Really enjoyed that presentation. That's why I homeschooled. I homeschooled our children. Well, let me back up. We were stationed overseas for the last 8 years of our 20-year careers. We lived in Germany. We chose to live in the community. Both of our children are native German speakers. Our older one, the former Marine officer, we put in German school. First, second, and third grade. And oh, by the way, when he was in second grade, I deployed. So I went away from my family for 6 months to run the Bosnian airlift in 1994, when my kids were 4 and 7. What's Congress's duty? To raise and equip an army, to declare war, to call up the state militia, to borrow, to spend, to tax. I've lived on the other end of all those decisions, except the state militia decision. I was active duty for 20 years. Not reserve. I had a regular commission, ROTC. But I left my family behind when I was already overseas. So I went farther downrange and left my kids and husband behind. First, second, and third grade, our son was in German school. We moved back here, and we decided we would not subject them to the public school system here. And so we homeschooled through 6th grade. And then where did they go? To charter school. Tempe Prep Academy, which is a charter school. An outstanding classical education. They read the great books, not excerpts. They take Latin. By the time they graduate at the end of 12th grade, they've had 6 years of a language, 2 years of chemistry, a year of physics, a year and a half of calculus, 4 years of the Socratic method taught in humane letters, critical thinking. What happened to my kids after that? And I just tell you this because this is what I believe in. They earned scholarships to ASU. And the money we saved them for college, we had them buy fixer-upper homes. So now my kids are aged 24 and 21, and they own little rental properties that they're in charge of. My kids don't live in the basement, okay? They're on their own. And so when you talk about the entitlement mentality that's so pervasive in our country, you talk about 40-some% of Americans who don't pay federal income tax. You talk about Obamacare. I use the VA. You want to have a snapshot of what Obamacare, any veterans in here? Have you used the VA?
Make too much money. They won't let me.
You make too much money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I
only
have,
3 and that puts me over the threshold.
I have 20% disability. And so I can use it. And I have, and it's a nightmare. My husband went there yesterday. He has 10% disability. He's in a project of them following veterans. They don't act proactively to preempt an illness. They act as a reaction. And unless you're on death's door, they're not going to take care of you. You want that for everywhere in the country and every person in the country? That's what's going to happen if we have Obamacare. So again, these decisions that are made by the government, I am on the receiving end of them. Why am I running? It's because I own a small business and I can't create jobs anymore. I have to deal with taxation, regulation, compliance costs, insurance costs, every day. Every day. Ask my campaign manager, Marty. When he looks for me and I'm in my business, I'm drowning in all these details. I am the only Republican running who, as I say, deals with these issues every day on a daily basis. As a business owner who must meet a payroll, I have to sign the front of a paycheck, not the back. So how am I going to get anything done, you ask? That's why I'm running. How would I get anything done? There are 60 congressmen, roughly, Republicans, in the House of Representatives now, who served in the military when I did. I'm going to reach out to those Republicans, and we're going to get things done because we'll have a common core of understanding. Because we've been deployed. We've served our country, and there is an unassailable, transcendent bond among those of us who served. And among those 60 Republican congressmen, I'm going to find who owns businesses too, because that's another transcendent bond. Only those who own a small business know what I go through every day. And you ask, well, why can't the economy recover? It's because government is in the way. How do you get them out of the way? You starve the beast. You starve the Department of Education, 15% a year. You starve the Department of Energy. And you just go through it department by department. Why do I think I'm the best candidate? These are the questions I always get. I'm a leader. I'm a trailblazer. I don't do what's popular. When I was in ROTC at Michigan State University in the mid-70s, it was not easy to wear your uniform on the campus. Do you think many women joined the military in the 70s? Not very many men did, frankly. There were 18 people in my ROTC graduation class from a campus of 50,000 students in 1976. And when I got into pilot training, needless to say, it was not easy. So you fast forward to 1996 when I retired, came back to Arizona, opened a business, and despite the ups and downs of the real estate industry, our home inspection business has thrived. Some days we can't meet payroll. Then what happens? Got to dig into our Air Force retirement pension to make payroll. I have 7 vehicles in our business. Every single one of them has more than 200,000 miles on it, because we pay cash for our vehicles. And one last illustration. We own an office building And we're inviting those of you in the Tea Party to come and see where our business is and where this office building is, 3030 South Rural. We have handouts. It's May 31st, the last day of May. Compass Bank said, Wendy and Hal, would you like to take out a 30-year mortgage when you buy this office building? And our answer was, no. We want a 10-year mortgage because we don't want to be in debt when we're in our 80s. And that 10 years will be up in 2 years. Has it been tough to make those payments? Oh yeah. They asked me, how are you going to do this? You can't make a mortgage payment on the order of what it's going to be with a 10-year mortgage. I had 2 words for them. Watch me. I get it done. How'd I do it? Called all up and down Rural Road, found out what the rent rates were, subdivided my leases, advertised them on Craigslist. I love Craigslist. And I got them rented. And the last suite that I just filled last week, I donated to a veteran, 100% disabled, Navy veteran, 30 years old. He founded Operation Iraqi Freedom Veteran Community. I met him going door to door on my bike. That's how I campaigned, by the way. And I gave him this suite, and he's already, in a week and a half, helped 3 veterans and their families get their dispensation that the government otherwise was not going to give them. That's appalling. Why we have to have this patchwork quilt of help to veterans. That's appalling. I'm doing my part, and he's doing his part. But what is wrong where we have veterans coming home from war, disabled, disfigured, and not able to get their full benefits? We've got a problem. Okay, not to end on such a somber note, but I got my flak jacket on. I'm ready.